We are here, obviously, for another great season in the Big Ten, which is great because it looks like there's going to be a lot. Looks like all the universities are going to be allowing fans in the stands, which is going to add to the great experience of the Big Ten, which is arguably the best conference in college football. Many people will say the SEC, but if you ask a lot of people in the Midwest, they will say the Big Ten. Whichever one you pick is on you. Here we have the Ohio State Buckeyes. They just wrapped up their media days. And the biggest question is, what is Ohio State going to do? Obviously, if you play for Ohio State, barring, an incident like 2011, your goal is to compete year in and year out for national championships, especially since Urban Meyer has been there. He's now gone. Ryan Day has took this program to another level from his great recruiting and stuff. But unfortunately, they fell short in a national championship game last year to Alabama. That is obviously a big question mark. And can they make the playoffs is something that a lot of people were wondering at media days. And for Ryan Day, it's him just taking it one day at a time, making sure his players are healthy, and just progressing towards it. You don't want to look towards the end. You got to really focus and hone in on each and every day. And he's been trying to keep his team guided, obviously just focusing on football. That's one of the biggest priorities. And also, obviously, getting education, but they won't go back to school until August. One of the biggest question marks that a lot of media members have for Ohio State and Coach Day was, how is the outlook of the team going to look? He's been very confident in the defensive line. They have a lot of people returning, and then a top recruit in Jack Sawyer, if I'm saying his name right. So he really feels very confident in the defensive line. He's also very confident in his wide receiver room when you have guys like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and then a lot of potential rising stars maybe can make that leap coming in as freshmen or even coming into their sophomore year. There's a lot of Jackson Smith and Jigba, other guys like that. But the biggest question marks he has had is obviously something that no one's really talking about, is the linebackers. They have lost a lot of linebackers in the last 2 years. They lost guys like P. Warner, Malik Harris, and others, which are not, obviously walking through that door anymore. And if you watch Ohio State for years, linebacker play, it's been iffy here and there, but you need very great linebacker play. You need them to show up. And he's not as confident in that position as he is in other positions such as the D-line. He's also reluctant to, make a decision on who is quarterback. Like I said, obviously Ohio State lost to Alabama last year in the national championship game, and they were asking Coach Day about their new quarterback, Bryce Love. Even though Alabama looks to have their starter in place, he is reluctant to still name a starter. And he's also talked about or answered questions about Bryce Love and the potential money he can earn, obviously, with name, image, and likeness. He talked about how Justin Fields could earn 7 figures, and he said that he's not in a rush to name a quarterback so they can get money. I don't think that was a shot at all at Alabama. I think most people knew that Bryce Love was going to be the starter. So there's no shot at Alabama. And after the way they did us last year, I don't think we should ever take shots at Alabama. I do think we have a great chance to beat them, but we need to have great quarterback play. The consensus is, between C.J. Stroud and I believe Kyle McCord. I think I know C.J. Stroud, I believe it's Kyle McCord, that have the inside track of being a starter. Training camp is coming up, so it looks like they're going to be sharing first-team reps. So I don't know if this thing is going to go all the way up until they play Minnesota, but he said that he is going to be in contact with the media and they will, give updates. I feel like he's not going to make a definitive decision, not for obviously just to get out the way. I think he's going to take it down until he figures it out. I do believe whoever doesn't, become that starting quarterback, I do see the transfer portal as a possibility. And then obviously you have a top recruit and Quinn Ewers coming in next year. So I don't know if this will be a a Kelly Bryant situation when you have Trevor Lawrence, you have someone that's playing quarterback, gaining experience, and then you just have a better young quarterback coming in. I don't know how that dynamic is going to work. I don't think Coach Day is thinking about that right now, but he's still reluctant to name a starter as far as the quarterback position. Going into training camp, obviously that's going to be top priority, getting the defense together, and then they're going to be integrating a lot of new guys because they lost some to the NFL. And just getting that connection, I think the biggest thing he's going to try to do is get Garrett Wilson, Olave on track with both quarterbacks. Chemistry, staying after practice, that's going to be on them. And then on top of that, they have a great tight end in Ruckert. Now, we had great tight ends in Nick Van Ed and others, but he's trying to make sure Ruckert can get a lot of catches. It seems that he's going to be using him a lot this season. So training camp, they're going to be trying to get some more plays ran for him. He wants him to break the receiving record for a tight end. So looks like it's going to be a great season for the Buckeyes, but the biggest question marks that Coach Day has is at linebacker and at quarterback. We shall see training camp and the updates that he has in the weeks to come leading up to the season. It is almost here, where they will face off on the road against Minnesota.